So you're thinking about starting down a debt-free payoff journey, or maybe you've been on it for a while and maybe it's just dragging on and on. Maybe you're excited for the change or a bit overwhelmed, or you're just absolutely dreading the whole thing. I get it, and I've been there. And as someone at the tail end of her debt-free journey, I do have to say there is a few things that can help start well, stay on the path, and end strong. I know there's a ton of advice out there. The debt snowball, or maybe you need to do the avalanche, or take out a loan, or how about a 0% interest card and transfer all the debt to, you'll pay it off quicker. But I'm going to let you in on a few of my mistakes and one really big secret. None of it matters as much as starting and sticking to it. None of it. Look at if you choose an avalanche because it's mathematically sound, but you give up after a year and your payoff plan doesn't finish, well, then that didn't really work, did it? Or how about a snowball because that's the tried and true, but you never get the snowball going. What really matters is your why and how you're going to stick to it. It's your payoff journey and it needs to be customized for you. So I'm going to tell you what finally made it stick for me and what made it so that I'm almost debt free. Hi everyone, I am Laura with Lime and Joy, and I'm on a journey to become debt-free, breaking generational strongholds of debt so the next generation can live and give like they were meant to. I'm going to share with you how I was able to finally get my debt-free plan to stick and hopefully help you with yours today. Number one, start with an emergency fund, but don't forget those sinking funds. I think it's really good to start with that $1,000 emergency fund that, the famous Dave Ramsey says to start with, but don't stop there. When he first said to go ahead and start that, it was years ago, and inflation has hit us and just the world growing and evolving. And the fact of the matter is you probably need more like $3,000 to $5,000. But I don't want you to not start your debt journey because you're trying to get there. Instead, do the $1,000 by selling stuff or side hustles or whatever it is that you can do to get that $1,000 as fast as possible. And then, just keep putting in a $5 or $10 in there every paycheck to slowly let it build while you're on this debt-free journey. Sinking funds. This is a big one for me. When I was first starting out, I didn't have sinking funds, just the $1,000. And like I said, it kept derailing me. So now I would say I would have these sinking funds when I started, and I have these sinking funds now, and it's helped me kind of speed up my debt payoff this last year, and so I wanted to share them with you. The first one was car maintenance. It's not if it'll happen, it's just when, right? The oil's going to need to be changed. The tire might pop. Something else might break on it. The fact of the matter is you need to have some money put aside for car maintenance. And I would suggest just like the $1,000 extra, just put $5, $10, whatever you can slowly into this sinking fund until you feel like it's at an appropriate amount in case something happens. My next one was health care. And for me, it's actually dental care. I don't know why every time we go to the dentist, if it's not for cleaning, that it just seems to be a lot, but it is, and I have 6 kiddos, so it costs a lot of money. Anyway, that's one for me. And another one is house and apartment or maintenance. And I don't really mean like the structure of the house or the apartment, but more so the things in it. This was huge. We had to replace our refrigerator once, our washer, our dryer, actually our washer twice. And so, yeah, it threw us off and made it so I think 2 extra months are added onto our debt journey. And so now that we have these 3 categories, I feel like it's just kind of like rocketed us along. There's been no hiccups or, any kind of derailing from the debt payoff journey. Now that I have these ones, when something pops up, I have the money, I'm able to do it. And it didn't really even feel like I was putting a lot of money aside. I was just doing 5 or 10 in each of these sinking funds, and it was really simple. But there is one more I think you should really have along this journey, and that is fun money. Even if it takes you a month or 2 to put $5 or $10 aside every paycheck, enough money to go do something, I think it's important to still take a moment for yourself here and there, a conservative moment, not like a Disneyland, moment, but like a just conservative moment to go out to the movies or go out to eat or do something as a family. Because you know what, life is short and it's important to keep yourself motivated along this debt payoff journey and not feel too constrained and want to give up. Number 2, not having a clear budget and not budgeting every paycheck or every month. Look at bills and income and expenses, they vary, and you need to make sure you're super efficient when it comes to this debt payoff and your snowball, avalanche, whatever you are throwing at your debt. And you need to try to see if you can increase that amount too by doing cutbacks. And you can't do that without a clear budget and where your money is going and company needs to be completely mapped out. If you're new to budgeting and you have no idea where to start, I will go ahead and link a video right here in the iCards of how to start a budget, how to start a cash envelope method, which I think is super important. When I first started, I had everything electronic and online, and what I noticed was because I enjoyed it so much and did the electronic stuff pretty easily, I was able to move my money around with very little thought and very little pain when I would overspend in an area. So to make myself more disciplined, I stepped back, switched to the cash envelope method, and it has been just so good for my debt payoff journey. I've really accelerated my payoff and become very clear where I'm misspending my money and where I can cut back. Number 3, you really need to have a debt payoff plan with start and end dates that are customized for you and your needs, and if you're married, you and your spouse's needs, because this is really, I think, something that I really missed the mark on. I just was like, look at, I'm going to do the debt snowball. This is how much money I'm going to start with. I think I'm going to start with this card. I'm going to start, I think, next month. It actually turned into like 3 months later, on and off, kind of, not really serious the first year, which it just doesn't work. It doesn't work because you don't have a plan in place, you don't have a goal in place. So I do have, like I said, I do my cash envelopes, which help me, stay on track with my sinking funds and emergency funds. And I do have this fun money kind of savings challenge that I do to help make sure I am spending money on my kids and things like that. And then I have this debt-free journey motivational tool that has really been good because it has a debt payoff plan. So I have 4 debts left and I have an end date here of August 24. So it's very clear to me when I was starting with these debts, I had more debts, but where I am now, starting with these debts and where my end date is. I have a very clear plan of what I need to do and how I need to do it. And this has been really huge for me. If you don't know how to start making a debt-free plan, there is a video that I did which step by step shows you how to put your numbers in to create a customized plan for you and your debt. I'll link that above. It was really eye-opening to me. It not only helped me pick out my dates, end dates, and start dates, but it helped me choose if I wanted snowball or avalanche or stair stepper or nothing at all, how much money I could save. It was such an amazing tool. Go check out that video. Okay, number 4, you need to find and use whatever motivation works for you. Look at, this is what worked for me. I needed a tangible hands-on plan mapped out for me. So these are, this is a little tool that I made for myself that has the plan, the debt plan that I made. I need to see the start date, the end date. I track how much I'm paying in my snowball. I'm setting a goal. So see here in July, my goal is $1,200 snowball. So because I've been doing this for a while and I had a lot of debts, it's grown to $1,200. So that's what it is now. I think it was literally $50 when I began, just showing you the insight. I started at like $40,000 income and a $50 payoff plan, and just as self-discipline and income and life has grown, here we are now. So I need to see that all the time, and I need to see a debt. I need the tracker. I need to know exactly what debt I'm paying on right now, when the start date is, when the end date is, and how much I'm paying and how often. This really helps me just kind of like, okay, I almost challenge myself. I want it paid off before this end date. I really want to push myself to throw some side hustle money on it or be frugal a little bit here or there and take that little bit extra and push it towards the debt because I want to be debt free even before my end date is my goal. How many months can I save, you know? Every little extra dollar helps. And then I also like to use things like this. This is just a little sheet that I do every time I make a $75 payment here. Then I go ahead and I fill in a heart. So I go ahead and I pay it online to that debt that I owe, and then I track it here, a visual reminder of how close I am getting to pay off this debt. And I have a few of them in this. I have like a 100-day challenge payoff and a money pot, and I just pick how much, you know, whatever my debt is, I just divide by how many things are on the page, and then I am able to fill out one thing each time. Same with the jar. One line will represent a certain amount depending on how much I need each line to be to get to my goal. And so these trackers here, I just laminated them. They really help me just get excited visually. When you see, like, these little piggies are fun. Once you see them kind of filled up halfway, this is super exciting to go, okay, I'm halfway done, or I'm more than halfway done. It really does help motivate me and keep me kind of fueled towards my goal and expectations. I also leave it out as a visual reminder of what I'm working towards. Putting up visual reminders around you and telling people what you're doing. Sometimes people are that motivation for you, can really keep you just going when it gets a little bit hard. You need to expect the hills and valleys and avoid seeing them as failures, but instead of moments of just to reassess. And that reassessment, you know, changing those numbers around. Maybe as I had to go from electronic to cash envelopes, I had to set some, you know, summer fund money aside, or use motivational trackers. Whatever it is, it's important to just go ahead and apply it and reassess as needed so that you can go ahead and get to your goals a little bit quicker. I hope this has helped you kind of identify, think about, and internalize what's best for your debt payoff plan. And I want you to always find joy in your journey, and I'll see you next time.